my press car for the week, a 2021 Mazda MX-5. It's a Miata Grand Touring 6-speed manual transmission in Snowflake white pearl with black interior. And I gotta say, this is the most fun car I have ever driven. And I mean that. I've driven a lot of things. The only thing I haven't driven that is similar to this would be the Honda S2000, so I'm not gonna speak to that. But compared to the BRZ, really the main reason that it's better than the BRZ is because the gearing is more linear. The power band is more linear in this car. And it's just been unbelievable to drive. So 17-inch alloy wheels, great looking wheel, sporty, lightweight, simple design. And then the interior is, again, just very simplistic. One drawback to this car, I would say, is if you're anything over 6 feet tall, I'm 6 feet tall, you really can't fit in this car. And it's sad that people that are taller don't get to experience this, but at concerts they get to see clearly, so it's a trade-off. The steering wheel is a perfect circumference, perfect thickness. You don't want it to be any thicker than it currently is. The close ratio 6-speed transmission also sits very nicely, just sits perfectly right into your hand. One trick that I learned here that you're gonna have to learn if you get one of these in a manual, to get it into reverse, you press down, then over. So the action to get it into reverse is pressing down. To go to first, obviously there's no pressing down, just normal. Inside the car here, the controls very simplistic. These are just plastic dials showing the direction of the air. It does come with heated seats on either side, which is great. And it also has Apple CarPlay, which to turn that on, you plug your cable in right there. So you just plug that in there and then it hooks right up. Or it does wireless CarPlay, which is amazing. So hands-free wireless CarPlay, the second you get into the car and turn it on, it's hooked up, ready to go, which is very convenient. Also, this little pocket right here fits my iPhone nicely if you want to take it out of your pocket. And then here's kind of a look from the driver's side POV view, which is again very simplistic. Some controls down along the side here, traction control off, and then lane keep assist on or off. It's interesting how they do lane keep assist in the Miata. Basically what happened to me while I was driving, I kind of drifted over to the left side of the lane. I was on the lane line, and there's a sound that plays through the speakers which sounds like you're on a rumble strip. So it definitely gets your attention, and I thought that was very unique that the way Mazda engineered their lane keep assist through the speakers. As I said earlier, these are 17-inch alloy wheels. The dimensions of the wheels themselves are P205, 45, 17. These are high-performance tires. The front brake discs are ventilated and the rear are solid disc brakes. It also has a sport-tuned suspension with BILSTEIN shock absorbers. I think the key to this car being so fun, and what I've realized, is the suspension has travel in it. So you can see there's some nice wheel gap there. I don't think I've ever said nice wheel gap in my life, but I did now. But one thing that's interesting is I've come to really appreciate the travel and comfort of this suspension. You can actually see the BILSTEIN shock absorber right there. But the suspension, the comfort of it is amazing. Now I have a BMW M2 as my personal car. Amazing car to drive, but the suspension is very stiff. And the curb getting into my driveway that you can see right here, it's pretty steep. It's a pretty severe curb that you have to go up over. When I travel up over it in the Miata, it's like you're in an a big comfortable SUV like a Dodge Durango, and it's like a little hump you go up over. And that's so unique to me that they've engineered a sports car that doesn't need to have the traditional, very rigid suspension set up for the track that you're rarely on. I just think for a road car, I'm so happy that I have this as a press car and I have it for a week, so I actually get to experience why people love these things. And that's why you can't knock it until you try it. And that is truly the case for this car. Yeah, this is just really an amazing package. I love the simplicity of the wheels. I like the color scheme. I also think it looks good in red. Really, this car looks good in any color because it has classic lines. Trunk is definitely a drawback, but again, what can you expect? It's very small. You could not fit a set of golf clubs in here. I don't even think you could fit a golf bag in here. Even if you pulled all the clubs out, I don't think a golf bag would fit. So hopefully you like working on short game, or you just put the golf clubs in the seat here, but you can't take anyone with you. So for me, playing golf, that's a drawback. But again, I would get around it just because the driving experience is so good. Horsepower, you're looking at 184 horsepower with 152 pounds-feet of torque. I mean, just classic lines, great looks. So now that we've got the basics of the car down, let's take it for a drive. Now, one useful thing I want to show you is how easy it is to put the roof, well, got a green light. The shifting characteristics of this car, I mean, it's just fun. It just makes driving fun, and because the car is so lightweight, you're able to toss it and there's no surprises. You know what's going to happen with the car. That's why it can have such little power and have such high throttle response and excitement to it, because it's tossable. I just can't say enough. There's another Miata. I've been waving at Miatas all week like I've owned it for 20 years. It's very fun. The shifter in this car, the shift feel, the clutch feel, all of that is a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10. The BRZ, the BRZ and the GT86 in the previous generation, I know they just released the new one. In the previous generation, where it falls short is that torque dip. If that was linear, that car, you'd have nothing to complain about. But this is just correct, and I think they've been doing it correctly for years. Now, this is the first one, the 2021 model is the first one I've ever driven or even been in. So I'm lucky that I've gotten in a model that is this good. If you don't need to throw stuff in the trunk, if you're looking for a cheaper car that just have a lot of fun in, this is that car, and it's also very fuel efficient. I mean, it's just effortless fun, and I'm not speeding. Well, maybe I was, but you know, like if I did that in my M2, I'd be going 80. In this car, that's not the case. This is simple, old school fun, and I did not expect to like this car as much as I do. I'm just impressed with it. And it's even fun to drive at low speed. Like if I'm just in this parking lot, the shift feel, the feel that I get from engaging the clutch and putting it into the next gear is great. I just can't believe that I haven't driven one of these, and I'm happy I'm driving it. To those of you out there that are, you know, all in on Miatas, you have every right to be obsessed and talk about them constantly. I mean, these things are true driver's cars. Everything makes sense in them. The one, I guess, drawback, the BRZ is bigger. Like my friend Andrew is 6'3", he has a BRZ. We fit in that comfortably. I drove him back to back. And that's a much bigger, like calling a BRZ bigger is ridiculous, but it is. See, that's not full throttle, but it's just a fun way. Man. It just, the suspension having the travel that it does and being able to load up in corners, and you feel like those old school racers sliding through turns and they're trying to hang on for dear life. That's what it feels like driving this car. And I just can't get enough of it. It's very addicting. It's sitting in my garage and I'm just like, maybe I should, where can I go right now? I just drove to a friend's house the other night. Jamie and I just went for a drive to a friend's house. It was just fun, and she doesn't even like convertibles, but she got in it and she was like, why don't you put the roof down? I mean, she wanted the roof down. You can have all the horsepower you want in something like a Challenger. I get it. And it has more space. But if you're looking for a genuine sports car that's going to give you the feedback that you want out of a second or third car, this is the one to get. I hope you guys liked the quick drive of the Miata. So thank you for watching. It's getting dark here. Please like the video if you haven't already, and please subscribe to the channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. Trying to get to 50,000 subscribers before my 30th birthday, and I think we can do it. End of October is my 30th birthday, and I'd appreciate if you guys subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.